Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the season 5 premiere of Harley Quinn, which was just released yesterday on Max. It was called The Big Apricot, and as it starts, amid some insane chaos in Gotham, which includes giant rats on the loose and Man-Bat abducting people, Harley and Ivy flash back to when they were part of the Gotham City Sirens with Catwoman and a now paraplegic Barbara Gordon. And they invaded the sewer lair of the Huntress to try to get information on who stole Nightwing's body, and of course, had to battle her and her skeleton army, which didn't go well, prompting her team to disband. They then run into Clock King and Riddler, now a couple, who taunt them about the fact that they have no social life anymore and seem to have lost their spark. Meanwhile, in Metropolis, Lois Lane is heading up a Superman celebration gala for the opening of the Superman Museum in Metropolis, and Harley wants to go, but people from outside Metropolis aren't supposed to go. But because Harley saved Superman's life last season, they go anyway, and they run into Bruce Wayne and his girlfriend, who says that Bruce likes to call her Martha, despite her name being Lena, as in Lena Luthor, who it seems has funded the whole shebang. But it isn't long before they get discovered and get thrown out, which really pisses off Harley because she's trying to get a thank you from Superman. So she decides to masquerade with Harley as acrobats from the Cirque du Soups troupe that was supposed to perform in order to steal a super important Superman artifact from the museum. Of course, in the middle of trying to get away after that, they find themselves menaced by security drones, one of which was voiced by Michael Dorn, which seems to have things so in hand that Superman feels he's not needed. In the ensuing fight, they wreck a few things, which causes the crowd to break into cheers before Lena relieves them of the artifact before unveiling it, and it turns out that it was Superman's first ever cape that he was wrapped in as a baby. So Harley and Ivy walk away with nothing but decide that they had fun and they're still a great couple, so they go back to their hotel for some romantic activity before getting an invitation from Lena to hang out with her. And it turns out that she has Enchantress's necklace that Catwoman apparently stole during their previous caper. And when Ivy is inspired to spruce the place up with some greenery, the necklace accidentally breaks, releasing the demon it contains, only for it to be immediately decapitated by Harley, who ends up having to comfort Superman, who shows up only to once again find that he wasn't needed, which she does by telling them that he needs to take a sabbatical and figure out who he's going to be in this safer Metropolis that doesn't need him as much as it did before, which he says he's going to do with that handsome reporter Clark Kent, prompting Harley and Ivy to dish about them as if they were a couple on the sly from Lois, because they still have no clue that they're one and the same. Ivy then announces that Lena has invited her to run the Metropolis Green Initiative after she and Harley both revealed to each other simultaneously that they don't want to go back to Gotham, which is fortunate because Harley already bought a condo off of Bruce Wayne, who owns property there. It turns out, though, that this doesn't sit well with Brainiac, who apparently has been undoing the greenery that Ivy has already done, as well as watching our favorite pair of new Metropolis residents. And that's where the premiere ended. So, I really liked the show in the first couple of seasons after thinking that I wouldn't. In fact, after thinking that I didn't when I originally watched it. But I went back to it and I found that I really liked it. And, I've kept with it. And it is enjoyable, but these last couple of seasons have not been as good, I don't think. They've sort of been shadows of the greatness that this show was when it started. And nothing has reinforced that belief more than the first season of Kite Man, Hell Yeah, which was a great show. So I'm a little saddened by that. But as I said, it is still enjoyable. I like this version of Harley Quinn. And, they do still have a lot of fun stuff in the episodes. So I'm hoping, that that's going to continue this season. And it will if they bring in Bane and use Bane often because he's very funny. And if they use Clayface, who's very funny. And if they bring back a couple of the characters from the first couple seasons that they didn't use in the last couple of seasons, namely, I guess, Frank the Plant, is that his name? And the little short guy with the mental powers, I forget his name, but they were very funny and they stopped using them like in the third season. Hopefully the new setting of Metropolis will spice the show back up. I think that's what the producers were thinking when they did this. I mean, obviously, that's what it was, right? They said, well, we've been doing this for a while. We need to change things up. Let's move them to Metropolis, which, you can look at it and say, well, it's good that they did that. But at the same time, they did it because they realized that the show is kind of flagging. And so this is kind of like a jump the shark moment. you know, where they, you know, this is the, hey, look, we're having a new baby moment that they sometimes do on shows to, you know, spruce things up when a show is flagging. You know, similar to the time jump thing, similar to the change of venue, which they've done on other shows as they're doing here. So it's a sign that they know the show needs a little sprucing up. So the question is, will it work? Will it actually bring back some of the former glory? And that remains to be seen. So as far as this episode, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was funny to see Superman in woe is me mode and to talk about Clark Kent as if he's a different person, and then for Harley and Ivy to speculate that they're gay, that they're having a gay fling because they don't know, you know, who he is. And it's interesting that Batman is dating Lena Luthor, so that should be something to see. And I'm intrigued by the arrival of Brainiac. What's he going to get up to? I thought the joke about the Cirque de Soups was funny. And I liked the quick look we got at the Gotham City Sirens. That was pretty cool. I think they should pursue that, but I don't think that's going to happen given that they're in Metropolis. So I thought it was a lukewarm episode, a lukewarm premiere, but I'm hopeful that maybe the series can get back to some of the better stuff it was doing. Maybe they've been re-inspired by having produced season 1 of Kite Man Hell Yeah, which again, though I didn't cover it, was a very good show. So, you know, that's really all there is to say. I'm going to get out of here for now. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.